The script for the first round of the NHL playoffs was absolutely insane. We had a revenge game for the ages, an MVP goalie who seems like he's got the yips, and a finale that no one saw coming. So let's take a deeper look at the remaining series and the finale of round one and break down what really happened in today's episode. Let's get right into it. The Battle of Ontario for Game 6. The nerves of Leaf fans could power a small city. The potential of choking a 3-0 series lead would be a whole new level of embarrassment that the franchise may legitimately have to fold. The Sens, on the other hand, have looked more and more comfortable as the series has gone on, so coming home, they're looking to carry the momentum. And how about this? It's almost an utter disaster to start for Toronto on the lineup card. They put number 92 instead of 88, which is William Nylander's brother, Alex. If the refs hadn't noticed and the puck was dropped, they would have had to yank Nylander out of the game. It seems like even the guys sending the lines are nervous in this one for Toronto. Now, one thing that has shifted the narrative in this series is special teams. In games 1 and 3, the Leafs 5-forward power play unit went 5 for 9. The Sens Diamond PK was far too passive, and off a face-off win, Toronto's top players can shrink the zone and take full advantage. However, the Sens made it a point in games 4 and 5 to be more aggressive on their cues. Any sort of bobbled puck or play along the wall where a Leaf forward had their back to the middle, killers were stepping up without hesitation and taking away that space. The shorty in Game 5 was all caused because of that type of pressure. Despite the increase in this pressure, though, Ottawa's PK still had moments where they were too passive and it almost cost them in Game 5. So the Leafs look to take advantage of that again in Game 6. All Toronto has to do is fight the initial pressure that Ottawa gives, and then just watch how both Sens players just back right off to cover the middle, which is mostly Marner in the bumper area. It's deferred to Nylander, and look at all this space. So much time to make a play. It allows them to easily go to the point, and even when Matthews catches the puck, he's got ample space to attack downhill. He goes along the ice, floor cheese, and beats Allmark clean. Big response for the captain, who took a lot of heat for his play in Game 5. Now, the Leafs go into the first with a 1-0 lead, and they get after it early in the second. Will Nye, the science guy, this guy wasn't even in the lineup card, and he steals it, goes blocker side on Allmark. It's a 2-zip lead, which is a good start, but these are the Leafs, ladies and gentlemen, so stay seated. Of course, it's the heartbeat of the Ottawa Senators that give them some life. Brady Tkachuk gets some room driving to the net. He tips one home. It's precision, and it's perfect to beat Stolarz. The Sens keep watering that seed of doubt, and the Leafs, well, they just can't put in that final dagger. Couple of posts, palms are sweaty, nerves are certainly starting to build, and you fast forward to just under 8 minutes left in the third. The Sens get an all-time heads-up play from their veteran David Perron. Stolarz gets in his RVH on the post, gets horny for the poke check, and as soon as he does that, his shoulder dips to lean in, and Perron gets the little bang shot. This game is tied. Leaf fans are having breathing problems, and the Sens will just not die. However, the sentiment from the coach and captain heading into this game was just remain calm. Don't ride the emotions like the fans and media who want to basically fire everyone in the organization after they decided to keep Max Pacioretty in the lineup for Game 6. Not even a minute after confessing the goal, Max Domi has some dog work below the goal line and sends it out to Pacioretty. He is the one to finish. Number 67, 1967, the curse buster, former Habs captain, is the one to get the Leafs through. They take the lead, and it's topped off with Scotty Lawton blocking a shot in the final seconds. All heart, baby. Nylander, empty net, and the Toronto Maple Leafs move on. Now, quickly, what a series for the Ottawa Senators. I thought as the series went on, they just got more and more comfortable in the fire of playoff hockey. They got a bright future ahead of them, and the Leafs, well, they got Florida. It's the Rat Pack versus the Core Four, which means that the second round is going to be all-out war. Now that the East is all set, we move on to the West, where things are still very much up in the air. Minnesota and Vegas. The Wild were up 2-1 in this series, but the Knights have found their stride. My biggest concern for Minnesota going into this series was the difference in special teams. A top 3 power play versus a bottom 3 PK. Vegas has been exposing this with Shea Theodore. That threat from the point has been exposed constantly in this series, and Vegas is doing a solid job of pulling the forward away from the top of the diamond so that Theodore can step in uncontested. In Game 6, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They get some puck movement to the flank, and watch Olofsson here climb up in a way to drag this killer outside of position. He finds Theodore, and just like all series long, he is burying that look. Chalk this period up to a 1-0 Vegas lead, but hold the phone. Ryan Hartman, the heartbreak kid, finds a soft spot in Vegas' box +1 coverage, and he ties it before the end of the period. All series long, we've been waiting for Vegas' top dogs to truly take over, and in this one, they do. Mark Stone may be the ugliest goddamn skater in the league, but the guy is wicked smart. On the breakout, he sees Eichel gaining a full head of steam while Kaprizov, who's a forward, is just coming out of a pivot. So how about this area pass? Just a feather. Beautiful. Just out of the reach of Kaprizov. Eichel on the B-way, and he ain't missing that. Vegas goes into the third, this time with a lead, and again, it's Captain Mark Stone. This puck is waist high when it's thrown at the net, and he bats it out of the air like prime Vernon Wells. It's 3-1 with under 5 minutes left, and the Wild see the writing on the wall. Ryan Hartman did have himself a legacy game in this one. He got another one within 3 minutes left, but the fort is just too strong with Vegas. The Knights hold on and win 3 straight to take the series. Overall, the speed and forecheck of Minnesota did give Vegas some fits early on. They were able to force mistakes and catch Vegas up ice to take the series lead, but the Golden Knights settled into their game. Some big power play goals when needed, and then the big boys showed up and got it done when it mattered most. As for Minnesota, they haven't made it out of the first round in 10 years. They have lost 9 consecutive series with 8 straight first-round losses. Minnesota sports fans are some of the most tortured souls on earth. And honestly, I can't tell who's more deserving of the Maple Leafs of the West title. Is it Minnesota or the LA Kings? Because for the 4th year in a row, the Kings are in danger of being eliminated in the first round by the Edmonton Oilers. It seems like ever since they lost that coach's challenge in Game 3, it seems like they've been going up against a monsoon of momentum that they haven't been able to stop. However, gear up for this first period. Quinton Byfield, first shot of the game, first goal just a minute in. 2 minutes later, the Oilers respond to tie it up, only for Brant Clark to come down the wing and rip one past Calvin Pickard. Now in this series, it's been the Kings' power play that has been the boogeyman, but that's no reason not to feel safe when the Oilers are on one. You just can't risk it when these guys are on the ice. McDavid over to Nugent Hopkins, he ties it. The Kings, man, they just gotta be dizzy at this point. Every time they score, the Oilers have an answer, and before they can even breathe, Shaq Hyman, Tippy Longstocking in front, 3-2 Oilers. Now, what has really turned this Oilers team around is the depth. Last year, when Edmonton went all the way, yes, Mick Draisaitl, that combo was unbelievable, but their depth was the reason why they were able to break through to the finals. In Games 4 and 5, their depth elevated their play, and the Kings had no answer. In Game 6, it's the same story. Darnell Nurse and Trent Frederick step up to pull the game out of reach, and the Kings can never catch up. Edmonton wins 4 in a row to take Game 6 and the series with the McDraisaitl combo only having to put up 1 point. Tactically, when you look at what went wrong early in the series, we covered how LA just went into shell mode in the third period of Games 1 and 4. It didn't cost them in the first 2 games, but it eventually caught up. Their 1-2-2 neutral zone, when executed properly, made them one of the best defensive teams in the NHL and did limit the Oilers in stretches of this series. But in the third, their aggression up ice just evaporated, and it led to Edmonton's duo getting chance after chance to enter the zone. The Kings got pushed to their heels, and they never recovered. Combine that with the depth coming alive, Edmonton is moving on to round 2 to face the Vegas Golden Knights. Next up, it's our Stanley Cup Final first-round matchup. Colorado on the ropes in Game 6, and they had some help from the hockey gods in this one. The bounces they got were truly proof that they wanted to see this go to 7. I mean, just look at this. On the first goal, the shot goes off a stick, off Lyubushkin's skate, and into the net. All right, that's fine, whatever. But then Kyle McCarr steps in for a slap shot. He flubs it. When's the last time you saw that? It goes off of Wyatt Johnston's stick and right onto the tape of Arturi Lehkonen on the doorstep. Oh my. Tough start for the Stars that's got you questioning your faith. But remember, this is the Mikko Rantanen Bowl. He's had moments in this series, but the second period was vintage Mikko. Here's how. Some power play mastery at work to start it off. As he receives this puck on the goal line, the D is just a second late when lunging to try and deflect the puck away, and instead of trying to force this pass on his forehand, he makes a heads-up play, shifts it to his backhand, and that gets Dallas on the board. Whatever you do not let the moose loose. Now, tactically, the Stars are always having a winger fly the zone early to open up space underneath. Look at Granlund here. He's not even on the screen, but his position forces McCarr to back off, and it's going to create space in the middle of the ice there. You got Hintz flying up the gut, and Rantanen uses his entire frame to eat the pressure and get the puck to Hintz, who has all this space now to work with. They find Granlund streaking, and the Finns are cooking. Someone get the Avs bench an iPad because they do it again. Hintz Hintz fires it up the boards, and this time both Rantanen and Granlund have blown the zone to get Colorado's D to back off. Hintz coming down Main Street, just flying. There's space above because the wingers have backed off the D to create that slight gap, and another strong bump play by Mikko. That is point number 3 in the period. Then he's not finished there. He's going to get a dynamite look against his former teammate, and what does he do? He reminds Blackwood to close his damn legs. A cheeky 5-hole goal. Rantanen has a 4-point second period to put his former team on the brink of elimination. But sometimes you got to be lucky to be good and good to be lucky. The Avs are at their best off the rush, and it's all about the details. Landeskog may have missed nearly 3 years of hockey, but knowing the game just doesn't go away. Watch this subtle little pick play with his stick on the zone entry. Just enough time to buy Dwayne the Brock Nelson a tiny bit of space to enter the zone. It's dropped back to Landeskog, and Nelson, he takes the route in front of the D to just keep buying Landeskog some real estate. The details allow for space for a shot on goal. It's kicked out to Nichushkin, and he finishes the job to tie it. I do wish I could say the bounces got better for Dallas fans, but this next one will make you sick. McKinnon drives the net, throws it in front. It's loose. Sam Steele goes to clear it. It hits off of Blackwell and into the net. Are you kidding me? Blackwell has got 2 game winners in this series now, one for Dallas and one for Colorado. Nathan McKinnon and the Avs are luck boy Illinois for Game 6, but it don't matter. They found a way to win, and this one, it was always going 7. Come on. Pete DeBoer, Dallas's coach, is 8-0 in Game 7s, while the Avs' Jared Bednar is 0-3. So it all comes down to this, the best moment in sports, and that is a Game 7. 2 elite teams separated by inches. This series deserves a dramatic finish. The first period was tight, but the action exploded in the second. Dallas went on the power play, but Colorado's 1-3 entry defense paid off. O'Connor denies Hintz at the line, creates a turnover, and Josh the Marilyn Manson of all defenders is the one to bury a shorty. 1-0 Avs at the end of 2, and they want to keep their foot on the gas. McKinnon off the bench as the extra attacker catches Ottinger slipping up off the post. It's 2-0 Colorado, not even a minute into the third period. Now, 2 insane stats heading into this is that the team who scores first in a Game 7 wins the game 76% of the time, and that Dallas has 0 multi-goal comebacks all throughout this season. But the Stars have a Mikko Rantanen. He says screw the numbers and fuck the Avs. He steps down Main Street Broadway, goes bar down to cut the lead in half. Then on the power play, he's just going to do it all himself. Lindgren gets caught looking like a ballerina spinning the wrong way. Rantanen goes around the world, and it's the Stars who finally get a bounce. There you go. The hockey gods finally bring a little balance for what happened in Game 6 to the Stars. Now the Avs are spinning, and to make it worse, they take a penalty, and it's Jack Drury who does it. He was part of the package back from Mikko Rantanen in the original trade. The Stars, whenever they get set up on the power play in this series, they are deadly. They get that patented down low and a cross play that they have all series long, and it's Wyatt Johnston with the finish. This kid's 21 years old. He's already played in 3 Game 7s, and he's already scored in all of them. Mr. Game 7 already. The final dagger to put Avs fans in depression and management on the hot seat is the Mikko Rantanen empty netter. 4-point night, and the first player in NHL history to do so in a third period of a Game 7. A revenge game for the ages sends the Avs packing for their trip to Cancun, and I wouldn't be surprised if after the game, McKinnon stormed into management's office, flipped the desk, and gave the double bird on the way out for trading Rantanen. This game was so good that we actually did a full tactical analysis of it on the channel yesterday, so check that out after this video. But for now, the Dallas Stars move on to face the winner of St. Louis and Winnipeg. Now on to the St. Louis Blues and the Winnipeg Jets. After Game 5, the beef is real between these two teams. The controversy began when Jets star center Mark Scheifele exited Game 5 with an injury. St. Louis coach Jim Montgomery suggested post-game that the Scheifele injury was from a hit from Blues forward Radek Faksa. He said, quote, "Let's make it clear. Scheifele got hurt from the Faksa hit. He played 6 more minutes after the Schenn hit, but he didn't come back after getting rocked by Faksa." Then Jets coach Scott Arniel clapped back and said, "I didn't know Monty had a medical degree and that he's way off base." The coaches are getting in the mix, the hatred is growing, and yet the biggest question still remains going into Game 6. What version of Connor Hellebuyck are we getting? Is it the MVP candidate in the regular season, or is it the Swiss cheese alter ego that just takes over as soon as the playoffs begin? And Game 6, indeed, did not go well, but let's see where things went wrong exactly. In the first period, this was actually a tied hockey game. In the first goal Hellebuyck let in, isn't his fault. Has the guy struggled with traffic? Absolutely, but you gotta help the guy out. Sandberg shovers a blue right into the crease and into Hellebuyck. He's got no chance to stop this puck. Then in the second, standard operating procedure for most teams defending behind their net is 5 tight down low. But no one picks up the most dangerous man in front. You got Broberg looking like Gretzky with that pass behind the net, and it's a layup for the Blues. Hard to put that one on Hellebuyck too. However, here's the backbreaker. When it rains, it pours. Braden Shen puts the team on his back, steps in from distance, and beats Hellebuyck clean. When he's on, that's a save that Hellebuyck has 9 times out of 10, but he's fighting demons right now. That opens up the floodgates. The Blues get below the goal line to force the Jets again to collapse into that 5 tight look, and it's simple low to high hockey. Get traffic to the net, and look at this. I can draw a freeway of bodies here that Hellebuyck has to try and find the puck through. The Jets can't box out anyone, and credit Hellebuyck, he's battling. He just can't see a thing. It ends up in the back of the net again, and it's 4-1. The whole team at this point is just out of whack and deflated. Puck bounces over DeMello's stick. Not a whole lot of urgency there to recover. It's another grade A chance. Shen, his defenseman, tries to block it, but Hellebuyck, he couldn't track a barn right now, and what do you know? It's in the back of the net again. The Jets start the third with Eric Comrie in net, which means that in all 3 road games in this series, Hellebuyck was pulled. This is a guy that didn't get pulled all season long. He's now the 3rd goalie in NHL history to allow 4+ goals in 7 straight road games. The Jets, they're not making life easier on Hellebuyck, but at the end of the day, he has been nowhere near himself in the playoffs, especially on the road. You have to give the same amount of credit, though, to the Blues, who have come into this series with a game plan, and their execution has been phenomenal. We've analyzed the brilliance of Hellebuyck and his positioning on this channel a number of times, but even going back to our 4 Nations coverage, as well as last playoffs, the numbers and sample size have always shown that Hellebuyck's deep style has struggled when there's layers of traffic in his vision. It isn't revolutionary. He can't stop what he can't see, but the execution has been there for St. Louis, and it's forced 7. However, there's still time for narratives to be changed, and in a do-or-die game with Jets on home ice, they're going to have to do it without their number 1 center in Mark Scheifele. They also need Hellebuyck to just be the guy, flat out. But early, we see signs of trouble. It's a mini 2-on-1. It's Kyrou to Parayko, back to Kyrou, and it trickles in while Hellebuyck grabs his floaties and goes for a swim. Is it an unfortunate bounce? Yeah, but Hellebuyck flat out misreads the initial play by Kyrou. When Hellebuyck is on his game, he's patient and anticipating the next play. But Kyrou here, he's not even showing shot, and Hellebuyck drops to the butterfly way too early. That puts him way behind the play and in desperation mode, and it's another goal against. Then just 6 minutes later, Cal Connor, forgets the most important thing on the ice. That's the puck. Matthew Joseph heads the other way, and somehow it beats Hellebuyck from Jupiter. That's another long-range goal. It's hard to tell if that puck was tipped, but Jets fans are beside themselves. What the hell is going on? They expect their MVP to come up with that kind of save in a Game 7, but the Jets are in a 2-0 hole early going into the second. But then the Jets get to use their best weapon all season long, and that is their number 1 power play. Now off the face-off, St. Louis's Diamond PK actually does a really solid job of taking away options. They have bodies and sticks in the middle to take away that high bumper tip, and they make it nearly impossible to try and thread the needle here for the cross-ice pass. Parayko, the Blues D, is also playing Perfetti extremely tight, so if he does receive a pass and try and one-touch it either to the bumper or cross crease, Parayko is right there to pressure and get in his face. But this is the chess match. As soon as Kyle Connor swings this puck down low, Parayko's stick begins to flex out, and Perfetti rips a page out of Sidney Crosby's deflection handbook. What a tip from the kid. That makes it 2-1. The Jets look like they're going into the third, only down by 1, but with 40 seconds left. Radek Faksa, public enemy number 1 in Winnipeg, he makes it 3-1, and that's an absolute backbreaker. To make things even worse for the Jets, their number 1 D and Josh Morrissey got hit earlier in the game and had to leave. He did not return. The Jets look like they're on life support with their season on the line. The Blues are just not giving them anything for essentially 18 minutes of the third period, so the Jets have to pull their goalie, and it's desperation time, baby. Who's going to step up? How about Vladdy Nemestikov? Just tossing it in the mixer. It deflects off a blue and in. 1:55 is left, and the Jets are down 1. Things are starting to get interesting. Not even 50 seconds later, it's thrown out in front. Perfetti gets a whack at it. Is it in? I don't know. We can't tell. Let's call Gary on line 1. He says no. No goal on the play. Things are looking bleak and the Jets need a miracle. We're in the final 10 seconds. Puck comes out to Ehlers. He shanks it. Shawshank Redemption. Laurie says try again. Ehlers to Connor to Perfetti and in. 1.6 seconds left in the game and the Jets tie it. That is the latest Game 7 tying goal in NHL history. Winnipeg is going absolutely bananas. What is going on in this first round of the NHL playoffs? The script says the show must continue, and it did for some time as well. One overtime, nothing solved. Both teams solid chances, but Binnington and Hellebuck made key saves. So we go into double OT. Everyone at this point is playing low-event hockey, trying to avoid any crucial mistake. But then the Jets get some zone time, and with how guys are blocking pucks in these playoffs, you got to find ways to get pucks on net through traffic. Pionk, upon his touch, takes 2 aggressive crossovers into the middle, then jams on the brakes. Shen, the blue who's tasked to get in front of this puck, is now just slightly off angle because of the stop-up. Pionk throws it in the mixer. It goes off of Captain Adam Lowry and in. The Winnipeg Jets complete the comeback and win the series in 7 without their best forward or defenseman in the lineup. What a game and what an end to the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Jets, they will now meet the Dallas Stars in round 2, and the most encouraging sign for Winnipeg is that Hellebuck didn't allow a goal for the last 56 minutes of the game and did look far more confident as the game went on. Overall, between all the storylines and in crazy comebacks, the script was pure cinema and it gave us some of the best hockey games we've ever seen. So, what did you think of the first round? What series did you enjoy the most? Who's your favorite to come out of round 2? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you want to see breakdowns of every game of these NHL playoffs, make sure you click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you don't miss a thing.